front page, and then tomorrow we'll go through the back page, okay? All right, so solving one-step equations. Someone tell me how we're going to do number one here. What are we going to do? Varel, what do you think?
I had 25 on both sides.
That's right, good. Okay, so keep in mind that what we're trying to do is we're trying to isolate our variable. You want to get that g all by itself, which means whatever's on this side of g, we want to move everything to the other side of the equal sign. Now I stuck a little line here just to kind of show you, whatever you do to one side, you better do to the other side of the equal sign, okay? So when I'm looking here, Varel tells us we're going to add 25 to both sides, and he's correct. All right? So now the negative 25 and the positive 25, those guys cancel out, so they're gone. So on this right-hand side, all I have left is my g, and that's what I want. I want to isolate the variable. I want to get that g all by itself. And now we need to figure out what is 113 plus 25. Okay, 138. Regina, please. 138. And that's going to be your answer. Okay? Now, you can, it's not a requirement, okay, but you can check. Does anybody know how to check to see if your answer's right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got?
You plug it in, you plug in the answer as G.
Mm-hmm.
So you plug it 138 minus 25.
Okay, good. All right, so what he's saying is he's saying basically just take this and plug it in, just see if it works. Okay, so you can take 138 minus the 25, and you would better end up with 113. Does that make sense? Okay, so you can check. It's not going to be a requirement, okay, but if you have extra time, especially on quiz or test days, plug that numbers back in and see if they're working out okay. All right? Okay, so now let's look at number 2. Number 2. Okay, what are some ideas here on number 2? Nick? Okay, 983. Remember, what's on the same side as the variable? So if I'm looking here, what's on the same side as the variable? No, we don't. We're going to leave j alone. So what number's on the same side as j? So we want to move the 87 over. Okay, so whatever is with the variable, whatever's with this guy has to move over to the other side. Okay? Yes.
So based upon what the sign is, so if it's positive, you will do a negative, or if it's negative, you'll do a positive?
That's right, because you're going to undo it. All right? So you're doing the opposite of everything it says. Now, here's a quick question though. What do you guys know about two negatives side by side? It's positive, okay? So this is actually saying j plus 87. Does that make sense? So anytime you've got the double negatives side by side, make an addition. Now, gang, I'm not talking about something like this. I'm not talking about like a negative 13 and a minus x. Those are not side by side. Do not start that. That'll get you in a world of hurt later on, all right? They have to be side by side. Basically, if you can circle them, that's good. If you can't circle it without going over a number or a variable, then it's no good. Side by side. So now that this is saying j plus 87, what are we going to do to solve it? Alex?
Negative, j minus 87 on both sides.
Okay, so we're just going to subtract 87 from both sides. Okay, so whatever's on the same side of the variable gets moved. Okay, so we have j equals, all right, same signs or different signs? Same, so we what? Add them up. So what is 3 and 87 add? Very good, negative 90. You add them up, get 90, and keep the negatives. Okay, so that would be your final answer there. J equals negative 90. You do or do not? Okay, we'll start another one. But did you understand how we did the double negative side by side?
Yeah.
Okay, so then if this is a plus, you subtract. Now over here, this is just, okay, I got a negative and negative, so we add up the negatives to get a bigger negative. Okay, same signs add, different subtract. All right, okay, let's go ahead and try number 3. Okay, number 3. All right, again, if you've got to mark things, mark it. We want to get this variable all by itself, right? Get that guy all by itself. So Monica, what do you think we're going to do to make that happen?
We're going to minus 16.5 or subtract it.
Very good. So she said we're gonna subtract 16.5 from both sides. Again, whatever's on the same side as your variable, that's what gets moved to the other side, okay? And do the opposite, the plus, you subtract. Okay? Alright, so now this cancels. Alright, so now we're back to the p's on this side. We got an equal sign. Now, same sign or different sign? Same, so we add them up. Alright, so now, when you're adding your decimals, just go straight down. Okay? So we've got 6, 8, 2, drop in your decimal, keep it straight down. And what am I missing here?
P.
Now I got P.
Negative sign.
Negative, very good. So it's going to be negative 28.6. Okay? Now guys, please note that it doesn't matter if you write it like this or if I put P equals negative 28.6. It doesn't matter, just as long as you got the variable equal to the number. It doesn't matter what order. Okay? Alright. Fraction work. I know it's a bummer, okay? But it's not going to change the overall process. Okay? So we still have the same rules. We're still trying to get this W by itself. Okay, so what am I going to do, Colin, to get the W by itself? What needs to happen here?
Divide 2.
Nope, nope, nope. We're going to leave it in fraction form.
That's 10, 1, 1/2 of the entire.
Okay, we can start there. That's an okay step. So 2/3 plus W, and what would that be as an improper fraction?
3/2.
Good, okay, that's going to happen. So he just did it right off the bat, and that's fine. Okay, so we need to make it improper so we can add and subtract it. Ava?
You, on the other side, you, you flip the 2/3 into 3/2, and then you add them, and then you add that to the other side.
What if I say
Oh,
no?
so you subtract it to the other side.
You subtract it. Okay, so what you're thinking about, we're going to talk about tomorrow, but just so you understand, you're thinking of when it says multiplication in the middle, and then you were talking about flipping it. That's going to be tomorrow. Okay? All right, so for today, when I'm looking here, the same rules still apply. You're just going to subtract the 2/3. This is a positive 2/3, so you're going to undo the positive by subtracting. Guys, it has nothing to do with what's in front of this W. It's what sign's in front of the number. Okay, well in this case, it is a positive 2/3. So you're going to subtract 2/3 from both sides. So that those will cancel out. Okay, so W equals, now, review from this summer, what do we do with fractions? You're going to have to know how to deal with fractions. They are never going to go away. You're going to be using them nonstop. Yep. What do you got, Ava? Never mind.
I get the feeling that it's 1,
It might be. How do we know?
because 3 times 2 is 6.
Oh, you cancel out.
Not multiplying and dividing. Save all of that for tomorrow. You're going to be a rock star tomorrow. What do you got?
So adding the fractions.
Well, adding or subtracting fractions, what do we got to do?
Same denominator.
Common denominator. There you go. Now you're with me. All right, so now we need a common denominator. So if I look at the bottom here, I've got 2 and 3. What's my common denominator going to be?
6.
Okay, good. Okay, so I know that I'm going to have 6's on the bottom, right? Okay, so what are we going to multiply the top guy to get to the 6?
2.
3.
Oh,
3, right?
Oh.
3. So I'm going to multiply by 3, right, on top and bottom to get that 6. So then what's 3 times 3? 9. All right, now what are you going to multiply this guy, the second guy?
3.
Not 3.
I'm at 2. Wait, what? Never mind.
How do I get 3 to look like a 6? Multiply by 2.
So it's 1.
Okay, so now 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Do you guys understand that? Okay, so now just subtract. What is 9 minus 4? 5. So what's my answer going to be? 5, 6. Okay, I know those fractions are rough, guys. Okay, does anybody have a question about what we've done there? Yes.
So when this, got the big number in front of it, then you, simplify it into improper fraction.
Right, and remember we take 2 times 1 plus 1. That coming back to you a little bit. All right, yeah. go ahead and make, anytime you've got a mixed number, you're usually gonna make it improper. We're usually gonna have to do this step, okay? All right. Number 5. The difference of a number and 25 is equal to -9. Define a variable, write an equation, and solve it, okay? All right, now when you have a problem like this, when you're defining a variable, it's going to be very, very simple. It's just going to be a number, okay? Because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for this random number that they've thrown out there. Okay, so we're just going to put, when we define our variable, remember this is kind of going back to that 4-step process, define your variable. So we're looking for a number, so I'm going to say n equals a number. All right, and then it says write an equation. So the difference of a number and 25 is equal to -49. What will that look like? What's my equation going to look like? What do you got?
N minus 25 equals -49.
Nice job. So n minus 25 equals -49. Okay? So this is just translating the sentence, which is what we were working on. Okay? All right, so now we need to solve it. Okay? How are we going to solve this? Again, draw your line if you need to. If you've got to highlight your variable, do that. Okay? All right, Nick, what do you got?
Add -49.
Okay, is that on the same side as your variable?
Wait, no, add -49.
Okay, but instead of -25, we're just going to do the opposite, so we're just going to add 25. Okay, better though. Okay, so we're going to add, do the opposite of negative. We're going to add 25 to both sides. So those guys will cancel. I've got my variable equals. All right, same sign or different sign. So we subtract them. What do we get? Okay, 24, is that your final answer? What do you have more, negatives or positives?
Negative 24.
So it should be a -24. If you've got more negatives, you have negatives left over. Okay? All right. And that's all we're going to do on this. It doesn't say anything about writing a sentence. So we're good. This will be our answer. Okay? All right, does anybody have a question about how to define a variable here or anything? We're good? Okay, last one we're going to look at. Okay, a domestic cat, so this is like your house cat. Domestic means house cat. Can run at a speed of 27.5 miles per hour when chasing a prey, so like a little mouse or something. Okay? A cheetah can run 42.5 miles per hour faster when chasing a prey. How fast can the cheetah go? Define a variable, write an equation, solve. Oh, and that should say write a complete sentence as well. All right, so first off, define a variable. What are we trying to find here? What's the question asking?
How fast can a cheetah run?
Okay, how fast a cheetah. So I'm going to put S. You can put any letter you want. I'm going to put speed of cheetah. Okay, speed of cheetah. Okay, does anybody have an equation that they want to try? Just to see if it's right? Is that hand up or is that a stretch? Okay, well what do you guys think? Well, you guys gotta tell me. I'm not gonna give you the answer, I'll help you, but I'm not gonna give it to you. You gotta give me some thoughts. What are you gonna do with this? How do you find out how fast a cheetah's going? Nick?
27, no, I mean, S, 27.5 plus.
You're pretty good. I didn't hear an equal sign in there though. If we're writing an equation. You're on the right track. You almost got it. What do you got?
27.5 plus 42.5 equals S.
There you go. You'd have that equal sign there, you'd have had it in, okay? So your speed is 27.5 plus 42.5, okay? The guys right here, I mean, this is the key right here. It says it's faster, so you add them up to figure out how fast he's gonna be. All right, yeah, you said it, you just didn't stick with it. All right, so now off to the side there, if we need to, 27.5 and 42.5. Right? So 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry your 1 up. 1 plus 7 is 8. Plus 2, 10. Carry your 1 up. And then 1 plus 2 plus 4. is 7. Again, drop your decimal straight down in. So S equals 70. If you put .0, that's fine.